let's just start, maybe a little background about your art and then your art journey. Audra, you want
Oh, we're going to start with Audra.
We're going to start with Audra.
Okay. Thank you, honey. So, I've always loved to paint and to draw since I was really little, and I kind of fell off of it after school. I did go to college for a year for art, but let's just say that school was not really for me, and I didn't pick my paintbrush and pen up until probably, I don't know, 7 years after school, and then I just really started diving into painting. I actually found an old thrift store painting. I was going to thrift stores, I'm a good thrifter, and I was like painting my pieces and finding these fabulous vintage frames that I was using on my own art. And one day I found this incredible seascape, and it just dawned on me to paint this mermaid inside of this seascape. That was in like 2005, and I never look back. I can't look at an old painting on the wall without seeing some strange creature like looming across it. I love painting creatures and monsters and robots, but I have always had a thing for wanting to paint ladies. And when I first started, I wasn't painting ladies because I thought I was painting what other people wanted to see. So as I started to become more confident in my own art, I started to just do my thing and paint my little ladies with their long necks and their third eyes and their pink hair and their green skin. And I'm just super excited that other people are enjoying it as well. My husband introduced me to the comic circuit years ago, and that's really where I started to kind of make my name. And I stepped away from the Comic-Con world because that's not really my people. I guess I am in the oddity circuit now, which has been fantastic, but I'm really excited that Knight and Dan have let me dip my toes in every once in a while and do a cover for them. So that's me, and now that I'm sweating,
I too have circuit. So, about me. Honestly, I've been drawing for as long as I can remember. So, yeah, apparently I was drawing as a toddler, and I always wanted to be an artist, and it never swayed. I was really good at piano, so for me, I'm really good at anything art. Anything art. I can pick up sewing, I can pick up crochet, I can pick up, I play the harp, I play the piano, but anything else, just no. So art was my direction, and I started out drawing animals, and then as I grew older, I started drawing only guys. So I was a little weirdo in school who couldn't get a guy, and so I wanted to draw the ideal guy. And I was definitely that kid in school who was doodling in class. It was just a little weirdo, and there's not much more other than I just kept drawing. I'm not really that interested, I don't think. But
your women are fabulous.
Oh yeah. One of the reasons why I started drawing a bunch of sexy ladies is because I used to, let's see, to everybody. I used to be in a really bad relationship with this guy who would constantly put me down. And yeah, like for one example, just that I had chipped teeth. So yeah, after that, after I got out of that relationship, I wanted to draw a bunch of beautiful women because it made me feel more empowered to express myself that way. I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of a muse for my artwork. So what I'm feeling, I'll draw, and when I'm drawing a sexy lady, I'll feel sexy. So yeah, and it's super awesome that you created a character that is my favorite now. So.
I started drawing when I was, really little. I love drawing, and I think my first thing my go-to was drawing cats, flowers, and birds. I always just loved drawing animals, but in high school I started painting with acrylics, and I would just paint like Disney characters on canvases for myself to put up in my room. It was nothing that I ever had to show anybody unless they came to my room. After painting girls, like Disney characters, that was usually like what I would paint. I have like a Alice in Wonderland still in my basement from high school that I did, and then I have like a little gothy vampire girl. She's like hourglass, drawing like teeny tiny waist, big boobs, and big booty. She's holding this umbrella, and then I stopped. I stopped because I started working and then had a baby and never had time to be creative. But I loved art all throughout my life, and music. Like those are my two muses in life. And then I met Dan, and well, it's funny because it was actually an ex of mine who painted a painting of me and took it to an art gallery and sold it for like, I don't know, $50, $100 or something. And he sent me a picture of it, and it was a painting of me, he said, with all my tattoos. But I didn't find out till like a couple years later that painting of the girl, he just ripped off Zombie Tramp. And he drew Zombie Tramp with blue skin with all of my tattoos and put my name on the top of the painting. And I had a friend on Instagram who had their name that was Zombie. And I remember I was looking at their account, and when I typed in Zombie, Dan's profile came up, and I was just like, hey, that's me, that's that drawing that my ex did. I was like, what the heck? And I was like, she's green though, and I was like, this is weird. So I clicked it and opened up the profile, and I saw like, whoa, that dude totally ripped off his character and like played it like it was his art, and he just basically, traced it. And then, I was just really inspired by Dan as far as drawing more and more and more sexy women, because it's like, it's all over our house now. And yeah, he's helped me actually a lot, like as far as evolving and just how to lay down a lot of the structure, which when I started drawing, I just went for it. I was like, my eyes, face, and it would be all wonky. But then he was like, no, you gotta build it like a cake, and he showed me the underlying structure that I never really had before, and I would just go for it. And so now I'm like, oh, there's like, steps to follow.
I love that, and that's what I was mentioning earlier about how like such unique backgrounds. So kind of technically you had an apprenticeship.
Yes.
Alexa, I know you didn't mention it, but you graduated from art school.
I did graduate from art school, and also my husband is Iceville. I just realized that. Yeah, we met at an Emerald City Comic Con, and he was an attendee, and he was just showing around his portfolio, and then we started talking. So he's one of the biggest reasons why I draw a bunch of sexy ladies now, because he was like, that guy is lame, I'm awesome, and you draw really good ladies, and I encourage you. Anyway, that's been so
I love that. And then Audra, self-taught, So it's really cool to see the uniqueness and the shows for everyone out there, regardless of how you get there with hard work and determination. Just keep going and hustle every day with hustling.
Yeah.
Cool, I love that. My next question, so for those that don't know, I I guess I would be in the comic industry, but I'm not a creator or writer. I'm a firm supporter and a collector and a hobbyist and enthusiast, and I work for the grading company. And I do about 40-some conventions a year. So what I see a lot at the shows are dude bros at the booth drawing women. And my question, I'm always curious, do you guys feel it's a disadvantage being a female in the comic industry trying to draw women?
Hell
That's right.
no. Hell no.
I love that. And then also, do you guys are yourselves in your paintings?
Oh, I am a reference all the time for myself, absolutely.
I take pictures
Yeah.
sometimes of
Oh.
myself when I make it an angle, and then like
So many
You
pictures
guys-
of myself in weird ass positions on my phone.
See, that's the nice thing as when you're drawing female characters, you guys have that, and dudes don't have to be creepy and probably beautiful women. So, let's see, I made little notes last night while I'm flying back. When you guys are creating either a cover or a painting or a piece of work, do you guys already have like an ideal target? Or who are you creating pieces for, I guess is my question.
Me.
Love that.
I don't have a direction. I just put the paper and pencil together, and then I just start. And then from there, it just starts coming.
I like to say whatever falls out of my brain that day.
What about you? I feel like your process is different.
I'm a compulsive researcher, so I will just look at everyone's art and I kind of procrastinate with that a bit, so I'll just go on Pinterest and scroll for like 5 hours. And then I'll be like, oh, my original idea was better. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Inspirations. I'm always curious about creators and artists. Who inspires them, or are they inspired by other creators, other artists, political people? Who are your guys' inspirations? Anything. For art, comic, who inspired, a lot of people say, I'm inspired by Jim Lee, so my style is, inspired by Jim Lee.
I would say I was inspired by Chino Marino from Deftones. And as far as artists, Shake Lines, big time. Like, I love his simplicity, and I look up to his style a lot. And Dee Diego, also Sam Key, but I will draw like him, but I'm just, he created the Max, so I was like, oh my gosh, that is amazing art style, and the way he would draw women was pretty cool. Great for Zeta, for sure. Oh my god,
Booties.
oh my
Booties
gosh.
got the booty like Frank Frazetta.
And his women are just fucking wow. I was like, oh. In high school, I was obsessed with him. I was obsessed.
So inspiration, I have to be one.
Yeah.
Actually, for me, besides my feelings, Isaac inspires me a lot. Having another pro living in the same household as you makes you want to do better than them. And so you want to one-up each other, but it's all in fun, we're never like, he has a really good opportunity to him. It's never like that. It's more like, wow, he's doing something so badass. This inspires me to create more, to be more detailed with my work. I don't know if you guys have seen how detailed his work is. So, yeah, he's one of my biggest inspirations.
I would say, though I admire many artists and follow many artists, I don't think that I particularly try to paint like any of those artists necessarily. I think that most of my inspiration in my art comes from things from my childhood. Honestly, books and movies from the 80s. And when I was a kid, that really enjoyed whimsy and surrealism. I pull a lot from like Alice in Wonderland and just like strange, whimsical worlds are definitely where I pull a lot of my inspiration from. Where the sidewalk ends, scary stories to tell in the dark, all those kind of creepy, cutesy, whimsy worlds. I definitely, that's where my brain goes when I'm painting, for sure.
Dope. I think we've kind of cleared a couple of these, but an important thing, I'm with my lovely and talented wife, Audra, quite frequently at conventions, and I know a lot of people come up to her asking for advice and asking for directions and what shows to do. If you guys had any one piece of advice to give to a young female creator.
One? Oh, man. I have a lot. Oh, what happened?
Mike dead.
No. Okay, I'll just talk loud. So, I like to say whenever I'm not feeling creative, I like to go outside because when I go out in nature, I get hella inspired. I don't know what it is about just being with the birds and the trees and the sun and the air. That recharges me. But I also feel like, tapping into whatever it is that you want to do, making sure that it's for yourself without having pressure of, whether or not anybody's gonna like it, because if you're not having fun while you're doing it, it's just gonna show in your work, and then it's not gonna be as good as you want it. So, that's all I'm gonna say.
Alexa?
I keep thinking of something good and then it just disappears in the goldfish brain right now.
Under pressure.
No, I swear I have so much good advice.
I'd just say, in the world of these tiny, annoying ass computers in our hand that cause us to doom scroll and constantly compare ourselves to other people, don't. Just be you and paint what you want to paint, and they will come. Truly.
Yes.
That's all I got to say about that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that Dan told me, just do a really light-hearted, and I feel like it's been a great chance for us to get to know you three better, including myself, and it's been, hopefully we can all take something away from this to be true to yourself. I feel like that's really the point that you guys all drove. So we're going to open it up. If anyone out in the crowd has a question. Anyone? And if not, we'll all go back and enjoy the show.
Actually,
Tell
if
me.
you want to stay, Dan, I'm gonna go get him, and he's gonna have the next panel right now.
Right now?
Right
Right
after ours, yeah.
Okay. Boom. Any questions?
I got one. So my daughter is going to be an artist. That's what her plan is. And she's in 10th grade now. But she's really bad at school. It's just not her thing.
That means she's gonna be a great artist.
I was going to ask, did you guys have, how did you do with school? That innovation?
Yeah, I hated school.
Yeah.
I ditched almost for a month straight and got a truancy ticket and had a report and everything.
I support trades. Trade school is where it's at. The pressure to go to a 4-year university and study math and shit that you're not using unless you're going to be an engineer or a math teacher. Follow your heart. Do those trades. Cut hair. Be creative. Graphic design. Follow your heart. I mean, even if you try and you fail, you won't have that thought in your mind like, what if I never, just do it. And if you succeed, fantastic. And if you don't, fantastic, because you put yourself out there and you try. And that's not an easy thing to do.
Preach it, sister.
Yes.
I have like a three-part question.
3 parts, you only get one.
One brief question.
Perfect, there we go.
With your oil paintings, have you ever seen the movie In the Mouth of Madness?
I have.
That picture they have at the hotel on the wall that keeps changing as it goes on, have you drawn inspiration from that? Because your one painting has a vibe.
I have not, but Weird and Whimsy just like seeps from both me and that movie, so I understand where the vibe would be
There's
similar.
the one question. And for Alexa, starting with Isaac as a small business, how much of a challenge has it been for you guys to get that off the ground and running?
It was a bit of a challenge because we're both whimsy people, especially Isaac. He's kind of got his head in the clouds constantly. He has all the ideas, all the amazing stories, but someone has to help him
You say you're
organize that.
grounded one and he's the
Go.
dreamer?
I want to be the dreamer too, but I'm also I'm the one who gets it going. Like I do all the Dr. Kid, I do the I help make it happen. So I'm the one who helps make things happen.
So we should be thanking you for the kickstart.
Yes, actually, I do. I run all that stuff. But I mean, like, it might seem like I'm talking about him, but he does really valuable, he has really good ideas. Because I'm kind of, I can be like in my box a bit, and he helps me open up to more business ideas, like, oh, what about this? And then it'll fail horribly, but at least we tried. So
Balance, gotta have that balance.
not too much of
And then I'll finish up with Nightmare. Cannibal Kitty is your original creation of a character.
That is.
Do you have any other characters that you might be creating that we could see in the future?
You know what? I got inspired to create Cannibal Kitty because I wanted to do it was supposed to be me. So I was like, if I could be a comic book character in a post-apocalyptic world where I had some war for something wrong with me, what would I choose? So I chose to be Cannibal Kitty and have all these magic powers, but it's never occurred to me because of the fact that I'm so obsessed with her. I've never thought about creating. I guess I created Scratch, her sidekick. So, that was highly influenced by The Max because I love Sam Keith's The Max. But other characters, no, sometimes I just draw random sketches of different girls, but never have I planned to create another character.
Now your comments about it being kind of inspired by yourself, it makes me want to ask a real quick question about the scene with the guy with the roadkill in the first issues.
Yeah, so the first issue is very, very intense, and my writing style, all of my stories are my therapeutic way of getting all the shit that happened to me out when I was younger and through a comic book form. So it was almost like if I was getting back at every motherfucker who fucked with me, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking take it out of this fucking comic world where I actually can, embracing my dark side and just, trying to release traumatic things that have happened to me when I was younger through a creative outlet, and that's why it's pretty fucking crazy. Sorry.
It's a great time. Don't apologize.
Thank you.
That's it for me.
Definitely not for children.
Nope.
Do you ever look at some of the artists that some of the guys do drawing, you look at the women that they do, and you're like, yeah, there's finding some group like that, or even like, do you ever judge some of the other artists knowing is like, yeah, that's just unrealistic, or?
I feel like everyone's art is just so different. I used to be a little judgy at first. I'd be like, well, those are just like basketball. It's just put on there. I don't think chicks kids look like that, but I don't know. There are some men that make the most beautiful women because you can tell they love women by the way they draw the women. So, I mean, Frank Frazetta. Yeah. So I think it just really depends on the artist. Some, like me, I sometimes have a hard time drawing guys, so yeah, that factors in. We might have a little harder time drawing than what we want.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry. Look at you. I'm like muscles and angles. No, I want those soft. I want to do those soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that concludes Girls Drawing Girls. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, guys. So, we're going to move on to the next panel, but the three of you all have your own booths out there. So if you guys haven't stopped at your booths and pulled out your wallets after the next panel, now is your time. Thank you guys so much.